play a lot of FPS games, and they're all really good, but sometimes you just get tired of playing good games. So I set out to find the worst rated FPS game on Steam. First, I headed over to SteamDB and I searched for the FPS tag. Once I had a list of FPS games up, I sorted by review scores, going directly to the worst games on Steam under the FPS tag. But it feels cheap to play the free games that anybody can just throw up there that they made in 5 minutes. So I did some more research and tried to find one that cost money and had people who actually played it and they genuinely thought it was terrible. Because I'm here to play the worst FPS game. Luckily, at the cheap cost of about 49 cents, I think I found the worst FPS game on Steam. It's called Time Ramesside: A New Reckoning. It came out in 2015, and man, it sucks. When I started the game up, I was met with the loudest sound I have ever heard in my entire life that almost sent me flying out of my chair while I was wearing headphones. Luckily, this was probably the best part of the game. The game starts with a run-in with a small child who has just an outstanding head of hair, reminiscent of Larry David or a friar of some sort. The child appears randomly and talks to you.
I lost her, and I really want her back. So please help me. Thank you.
Sometimes runs in front of you like it's a horror movie. Holy, that scared the crap out of me, dude. And seems to be trying to get you. They also tell you that this is your daughter who has turned into a demon. I have no idea why.
Your daughter is a demon. She will kill everyone in her path.
She also does, well, whatever this is. It didn't take very long to realize this game is mostly just running in hallways. There are very few enemies that you ever fight, and the level design is literally just straight hallways and sometimes a turn, but there are no branching paths or anywhere else to go, so you're just running down a hallway for the vast majority of the game. Eventually, you run into a wall or a door or something that ends the level, but there's no indication, there's no animation, there's no end of mission screen. You're just instantly teleported to a different place. On the next level, as you may have guessed, you run down a lot of hallways for a really long time, until eventually you come to this room, which has seemingly nowhere to go. I spent about 15 minutes looking around this room and the surrounding area to try to figure out where I was supposed to go. Let's ask these guys. Hey, do you guys know how I get out of here? Do I have a different gun? Eventually, I figured out that the answer was right under my nose the entire time. It was a key card laying on the ground in the pitch black that I couldn't see. It also doesn't look like a key card. It looks like the floor. But this opened the door, allowed me to progress, find the demon with a huge penis, and then eventually teleport into the snow. I just got teleported to Russia. Here we're immediately introduced to a new spider enemy that just crawls at you and doesn't really do anything. The demon with the huge hog continues to return, and they seem to be even more harmless than the regular zombie. They just have a incredibly large penis. They clearly know that looks like a penis. Eventually, I ran into what I thought to be the first boss of the game that was shooting giant volcanic magma into the air, but it didn't even look at me, and I killed it without it ever turning around or knowing that I existed. And then I just kind of walked away. This level was much shorter, and at the end of it you walk into an area where you're surrounded by what look like a bunch of houses, and then you just are teleported back to your daughter.
And I'll find you. Ring around the rose.
This level was
fake hole
really
in the wall.
difficult to tell where you're supposed to go because not only is it pitch black and
have
everything
to
looks
go
the
this
same,
way?
but they're finally deviating away from just hallways and adding little rooms next to the hallways. But when you go in the rooms, none of the doors open, there's nowhere to go, and it's just kind of a dead end over and over again. You basically end up searching rooms with nothing in them but chairs,
Does it go
and
this
then
way?
leaving and going back into the
Is this a
hallway
new
and eventually
direction?
just going
It's not
back on
where
the
I
same
came
path
from?
that you already were. And when you get
I
to
have
the
no
end of
clue,
it,
dude.
or what I thought was the end of it, your demon daughter shows up and puts you on the main menu. What? Is this a cutscene with the crosshair in place? Is that the girl? What just happened? Wait, did I die? When you hit continue on the main menu, as I tried to do, it brings you to a level select. It gives you no indication of which levels you've been on or which one you were already on. You just basically hope that you know the name of the level you were on. I chose a sewers level, which looked like it was the last level in the game. There are also about 5 other levels on the menu that have no information and say that they're incomplete. Keep in mind this game's from 2015 when it left early access and came out. So, anything incomplete is going to be that way forever. I booted up the sewers, and I am not joking, I don't think they actually finished this level before they released the game. There are no enemies, there's nothing to interact with, and there's nowhere to go. You're just running down a hallway and turning sometimes. They put the environments in, they put some effects in, you can walk through some of the rocks that are on the ground. It seems like it's completely unfinished, almost in like a pre-alpha build, and they just put it out anyway. It feels like I'm not even supposed to have access to this game, and everything in it is unfinished and not working correctly, and they just like put it on Steam. I gotta jump down a waterfall or something? Should I jump? Instantly on the menu. Unfortunately, even at the low price of under 50 cents, I would not recommend ever trying Time Ramesside: A New Reckoning. It is a terrible unfinished game and one of the worst FPSs I've ever played. It's so bad that it feels like it shouldn't have ever been released. It does seem like they at least tried to make a real game, but maybe gave up part of the way through, and everyone unanimously agrees that it's terrible. So I'm going to try to get a refund by searching for 2 quarters in my couch cushions.